Hey, what's up, Airskelemistic? I am here today in Avalon to talk to you all about energy gear. We all use energy for one thing or another. Maybe you're a fishing aficionado. Aficionado, there's a good pun for you. Are you an aficionado? Maybe you're a fishing aficionado. Maybe you're a pet trainer. Maybe you're a massive, massive gardener. But whatever the case, we all use energy, and we use a lot of it. Kings Isle, I think second after PAX, that's probably what they're making their most money on, is the sale of energy. Sounds like my local power company. Anyway, that being said, the need for energy is arguably one of the biggest things that people are farming for or going for or working towards in Wizard 101. In this video, we're going to talk about the top places to get energy gear for no crowns cost. In other words, energy gear on a budget is the title of this video. Guys, let's go ahead and get started with that. And I'm going to go through each piece individually and tell you where you can get yourself some free energy gear. When I first got the idea for this video, I was going to just briefly touch on some of the better gear pieces that were free that people could get. And doing the research for this, I've really sort of picked up and discovered that there's a lot more free energy gear than you would think. It's of course going to depend on your level and where you can get to in Wizard 101, in the spiral, as to what gear you can actually get. But there is at least a little something for everyone. So I'm actually going to break this video down into a couple of part series and cover every piece that I can possibly think of, both for the lower level newer players and for the upper echelon, higher gear, higher level players. All right, so I'm going to start with the hat, robes, and shoes, and moving on, of course, to the wands, the thames, rings, etc. And I'm going to cover each piece with every source that I can think of. And that would make for a really, really long video, so I'm probably going to break this up into two parts. All right, let's go ahead now and start with the hats. There are about, I would say, 4 or 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's about 5 sources for free hats that a body could come up with. First of all, and most easy and the lowest level required, is going to be here at Brandon Mistborn. Brandon has hats, robes, and shoes, etc. He has 4 energy gear, and this is, by the way, not for crowns and not for cash, but for arena tickets. So if you can get in here on one of those weeks where they have the free-for-all arena ticket paying tourneys, then you can actually really clean up and pick up every bit of energy gear that you might need as a lower level, even if you can only stay in even if you only have to stay in Wizard City. You can pick up energy gear that way. It's not going to be the best energy gear, but every little bit helps whenever you're trying to garden or train pets or what have you. Brandon Mistborn has the Mariner's Rain hat with 2 energy, the Seafarer's Cloche hat with 10 energy, and the Macintosh hat with 5 energy. I must have slipped over the Macintosh there. As well as having energy, these have fishing luck attached to them. So if you're wanting your energy for fishing and you're a lower level, this is really the set for you, because you're going to pick up not only, let's see, 5. Depending on which set you get, you'll pick up between, let's see, 2, 4. You'll pick up between 6 and 21 energy. Plus, you'll pick up fishing luck. So if you are a lower level and you are fishing, or if you just need a little bit more energy, or any energy that you can get, Brandon Mistborn is definitely for you. He has the hats. They look a lot like the gear that you got out of the fishing bundle, the one that has the rowboat and whatnot like that. As a matter of fact, that one looks exactly like it. But so what? Stitch it if you like, or don't stitch it if you don't want to. In any case, it's a good, quick 10 energy if you buy this hat, for instance. That's a good, quick 10 energy plus 10% fishing luck. You can't go wrong, especially for only 200 arena tickets. Some other places that you can get the free energy hats will be out of the Wyvern's Horde pack, for instance. Now, I know I said the Wyvern's Horde pack, and I know just now, I probably got a little bit of a stink eye from several of you saying, hey, man, that's a crowns pack. What kind of stuff are you trying to sell me here? Excuse me. I don't have the crowns for crowns pack. Why you bring up the Wyvern's Horde pack? You can get the Wyvern's Horde pack free, absolutely free. If you play Grup Guardian in the Wisteria maps, the Tower of the Elephant, it won't drop every time. It might not drop every 10 times, but it will drop. you can get a Wyvern's Horde pack for doing Grub Guardian Tower of the Elephant. And in that pack, you can get, appropriate to your level, energy gear that matches the level of your wizard. So you're looking at a free hat right there, for just a free hat. Play Grub Guardian, do that. Now I have to say, if I remember right, you do have to buy the Wisteria map. So that's not, it's not that it's entirely free, but you can pick up gear and prizes that are well worth that one-time crowns purchase. Okay, they don't give you the really good gear maps without, you buying the map. All the early maps that are free just give like gold and stuff they don't really care about anyway. But and it's true, you do have to buy the Tower of the Elephant area to get those. But you can get free energy gear, not only the hat, but the robe and the shoes and the wand, and etc., 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 with that one-time hit for that map. So while that was not 100% free, it's about 90% free. It's still pretty good of a deal for what you're going to get out of it. If you don't have the crowns or don't want to buy the Wisteria map, there is always the Spyro Cup Gauntlet, which drops the Green Warden's energetic gear. There is, if you have a membership and can get to it but don't have crowns, farming Mirror Lake. If you farm Tsitsi, he has the Splendid gear, which will give you 15 energy per hat, robe, and shoes for a total of 45. Okay, so you're picking up 45 energy right there, just for free farming. What you're doing anyway. Farming seems like the way of life in this game. All right, another and the last source I can think of for free energy gear hats would be doing the 5 boxes event in Avalon. I do believe that Sylvia Spitfire, while I can confirm personally a robe and a wand, the wiki says that she drops all the pieces of gear. So there's supposed to be a level plus, 80 plus energy hat there for you to get. All right, moving on to shoes. I think that 5 sources is a pretty good setup for doing hats. Oh, I'm sorry, moving on to robes. Let's move on to robes. Moving on to robes, you'll have a lot of the same sources. You'll have Brandon Mistborn here, who also gives you robes if you're a low level and you can't get out of Wizard City. Again, with the arena tickets. But as you see, the arena tickets are not very much for what you're getting so far as the energy gear goes. You can pick up anywhere from 2 to 7 energy for a robe that you bought with free arena tickets that you got during the free tourney events that they have. All you got to do is be in those tourneys. You don't even have to win it to get tickets. You'll still get tickets even if you lose. All right. Another good source for the energy robes. There we go again with pretty much the same sources. You're going to have the Wyvern's Horde pack out of Grub Guardian, the Splendid gear from Mirror Lake, the energetic gear from the Spyro Cup Gauntlet, and the 5 boxes event. As you see, I've kind of started those out. When I'm doing each of these sections, I'm starting out with the lowest level, and then I'm moving up to the highest energy gear that you can get for free. All right, so I'm starting at like level 5 and 10 level 10 players who can't get out of Wizard City, and moving all the way up to Avalon, where stuff can be had at. Now later on, we're going to deal with crafted energy gear, and somewhere in there's going to be crafted hat, robe, and shoes. And if I can find them, I think that they're there, but I can't confirm. And if any of you know where crafted energy hat, robe, and shoes are at, by all means, leave it in the comments, and I'll put it in the next video. And I'll even give you credit for knowing it when I didn't know it. All right? So, moving on to the shoes. We're going to have pretty much, again, the same sources. Brandon Mistborn here is going to have shoes for you in the 2, 5, and 7 quantities of energy. And as you see, very reasonable cost on arena tickets. I think you get more tickets than that just for losing one fight, pretty much. Or losing one tourney, pretty much. So you don't have a problem with that either. Again, with the Wyvern's Horde pack, and again with the Spyro Cup Gauntlet, and again with the Splendid gear in Mirror Lake for 15 energy, and again with the 5 boxes event. The hat, robe, and shoes are pretty much standard, and you're pretty much going to go to all the same sources every time. But now we're going to move on to wands. I'm going to go ahead and do wands, and then I will probably cut this video and do the other parts of it in the next chapter. Alright, now for wands. Alright, for wands. Wands are going to be running just a little bit differently than the hat, robe, and shoes did. There's going to be some of the similar sources, but then again, there's going to be some that are a lot different. For wands, we're looking at, I do believe, if I remember correctly, I had one drop from the 5 boxes event just fine. And also, you can pick up a great wand from Aphrodite that has, I do believe, 10 energy to it. Now, that's of course going to require that you're level 100. There's a little bit less sources for free energy wands than there is the other items. I'm not quite sure why, but for some reason it's true. Alright, that's going to cover the first 4 items, hat, robe, shoes, and wands, and I will cover the next ones in the next video. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, a good hard smash, and as well subscribe and share. I would love to see more of you here. Until next time, this is Skeleton Mystic reminding you that whatever else you do, always love the game. Peace! Hey, what's up, Skeleton Mystic? Welcome back to part 2 of Energy Gear on a Budget, where we're talking about the best sources for free energy gear of all types, shapes, sizes, and colors. In the last video, we talked about hat, robe, shoes, and wands. This time, we're going to cover rings, themed decks, pets, and all the